A pleasant day to everyone, and also a pleasant day to our Professor Mom Hazel. I am Paolo, and I will be your reporter for today. Previously, my partner Miss Kabaya had discussed to you the first two intellectual disabilities that was assigned to us, mainly the autism and the trisomy 21. Now, as your today's reporter, I'll be discussing the remaining two, which will be discussed later on. But before we start with our proper lesson, let me present to you a scenario or a question for you to ponder. Hypothetically, you are a high school teacher and you encountered a student that has a difficulty in reading. Now, as a teacher or as a mentor, what would you do and why? Feel free to pause the video and try to try to think deeply about your answer. Now, um, I'm hoping that you have answered my question. Let us now move on to our lesson proper. So our first intellectual disabilities is the Fragile X syndrome. According to our sources, a person with this kind of disorder has a weak or fragile X chromosome of the 23rd pair. This syndrome affects approximately 1 in 750 males and about 1 in 1,250 females, making it one of the most common inherited causes of mental retardation. For this statement, it was emphasized that this specific syndrome affects mostly males. Now let's move on to some of the common characteristics of Fragile X syndrome. So these are the following. Most boys have mental retardation alongside with girls also. So Fragile X syndrome affects mainly the cognitive skills of the students or the person. Also, it affects the attention of a attention span of a student or a person. It says here the attention deficit or kakulangan sa attention sa isang bagay. Hyperactivity, ito yung mga tao na parang hindi ko sila na stay sa isang bagay o parang hindi nila kayang mag-stay lang sa anong ginagawa nila ngayon. Like, gusto nila gawin yung ibang bagay naman parang hindi sila makafocus sa isang bagay. Parang hindi nila malaan yung kanilang time sa isang bagay. Gusto nila na marami silang ginagawa as well as speech and language problems, self-stimulatory behavior, anxiety, and unstable mood. So, parang maikukumpara siya sa isang autistic na person, which parang madali lang silang ma-overwhelm or madali lang silang ma-overwhelm sa mga bagay, especially yung mga bagay na nakaka-affect sa kanilang sensory na perception. One of their characteristics is large ears, long narrow face, prominent forehead or malalaki yung forehead, large head, enlarged testicles, flat feet, and also hyperextensive joints or especially fingers. So, parang matataas yung kanilang mga fingers or yung kanilang mga galamay. So, those are just the common characteristics of a person or a student with the Fragile X syndrome. So, parang marami pa talagang mga characteristics na hindi pa na-include dito. So, if you have time, you can do some research so you can add some knowledge also from this using this PPT. So next is here's a visual representation of a person or student with Fragile X syndromes. As you can see, they had a prominent forehead, large and protruding ears, yung mga pointy ears masyadong malaki, and a prominent jaw also. And you can also see here a normal X chromosome and a chromosome with a Fragile X syndrome. So, an explanation yan is because some a part of this X chromosome, especially the FMR1, is a sequence known is parang may specific na codon na which yung nucleotides niya, yung CGG, is parang yung specific na codon na yun is na repetitive siya masyado. So parang na-repeat yung codon na yon. So with that repetition of that specific codon is nasa-silence niya yung pag-produce ng specific protein para sa brain. So parang due to that repetition of specific codon, parang hindi na produce yung protein na need ng brain to create or to manifest a normal baby or to manifest a normal offspring. So that is the Fragile X syndrome. So as you can see here, this is another visual representation of kids that has a Fragile X syndrome. So later on, at the end of this presentation, I will be giving some examples on how to handle or what are the preemptive measures or what can we do as a teachers. What can we do to para malesen yung kanilang mga na-feel na mga symptoms or yung mga kanilang na-feel na mga bagay-bagay. So now let's move on to our next intellectual disability, and that would be the Prader-Willi syndrome or the PWS. The Prader-Willi syndrome, it was first recognized as a syndrome in 1956 by Prader, Lobhart, and Willi. It is now recognized as one of the most common microdeletion syndromes and genetic causes of obesity. So it is caused by a very small deletion in chromosome 15. The dysfunction of the hypothalamus affects the appetite, sexual development, physical growth, emotional stability, and temperature control. So, kanina dun sa Fragile X syndrome, it was more on behavioral. Now, on Prader-Willi syndrome, meron na siya nadagdag. Aside from behavioral and development, meron din tayo nadagdag na appetite problems. So, let us discuss more of it in our next slide. So the Prader-Willi syndrome or the PWS results from the loss of active paternal genes on chromosome 15, specifically affecting genes that are only functional when inherited from the father. This condition is caused by a deletion in the paternal chromosome, maternal unipaternal disomy, or the inheriting two maternal chromosomes or an imprinting defect. So in simple terms, um, the paternal chromosome and the maternal chromosome parang hindi na na-pass on ng paternal chromosome yung kanilang specific na gene or na chromosome na need i-pass sa offspring. Instead, yung dalawang um, chromosome na yun is nanggaling sa maternal. So that is what is an example of an imprinting defect. So from the start pa lang or um, from the development pa lang ng offspring is dun na nag-start ng problem ng Prader-Willi syndrome. Same kanina dun sa Fragile X syndrome. So, this is a visual representation so that we can easily understand how does Prader-Willi syndrome develop. So, here on the left side, we have the without the Prader-Willi syndrome. So we have the chromosome 15, copy from the father and a copy from the mother. So both copy from the father, the paternal and maternal, will help develop the hypothalamus. So with a developed hypothalamus, we have normal appetite, metabolism, growth, sleep, all of that. Now with the Prader-Willi syndrome, so hindi there is no copy from the paternal chromosome. So parang both ng copies is nanggaling sa maternal chromosome resulting to an impaired hypothalamus function which causes disturbances in appetite, metabolism, growth, sleep, behavior, and all of that. So that is just short, brief explanation on how does the Prader-Willi syndrome really develops. So these are the following are some characteristics. So pasadahan na lang natin. Some at well, parehas kanya sa Fragile X, mental retardation, hypotonia, and poor motor control. Yung hindi nila alam kung ano yung galaw ng muscles nila or yung involuntary movement of muscles, short stature, narrow forehead, and small feet and hands, insatiable appetite and low metabolism, high pain tolerance and low sensory input. Yung sa kanina, sa Fragile X syndrome is high sensory, madali lang silang ma-bother or madali lang silang ma-overwhelm. Dito naman sa Prader-Willi is high pain tolerance. So, hindi nila alam na nakaka-feel na pala, hindi nila nafe-feel yung sakit. Kaya that, when you think about it, you think about it, it's like a good thing kasi hindi nakaka-feel ng sakit. Pero it's a bad thing kasi hindi mo alam na may sugat ka na pala. So that is a bad thing also. So as a teacher, we have also to it is important to to what do you call this? It is important for us to gather data about our students para makakreate tayo ng mga preemptive measures on how to take care of those specific students with this kind of syndrome. So now, behavior difficulties, show signs of obsessive compulsive disorder, osteoporosis, or yung mahina yung kanilang mga buto due to yung kanilang weight kasi most of them is obese na and thick viscous saliva and fair skin and light colored hair. Those are just some of the characteristics of a person with Prader-Willi syndrome. Now, here's some of the what you call this example of a student or a person with Prader-Willi syndrome. As you can see, they have a thick fingers. They have a thick skin. Um, Also, you can observe differences or the similarities. Their eyes, their body structure, and all of that. So yeah, that are some characteristics of a person with Prader-Willi syndrome. So here in this table, I have prepared some teaching strategies and evidence-based alternatives that we teacher can use in the future if, say for example, we encounter this some kind of scenario or students with this kind of intellectual disability. So for example, the Fragile X syndrome, their classroom impact would be drastic if, for example, they have a difficulties with abstract social cues or significant anxiety and ADHD symptoms. So as a teacher, yung role natin is parang hindi naman sa babawasan yung workload pero i-easy lang natin yung workload nila to the point na hindi sila ma-overload yung kanilang cognitive skills ay hindi ma-overload. For example, here is instead of doing a sequential task, pwede tayong nagawa ng whole task kasi nga sabi ko kanina, yung student or person that has this syndrome tends to lose focus on a specific thing. Now, yung sequential task is they require focus on a specific thing. For example, yung step 1, step 2, step 3 until the final. So, para matatagalan yung feeling of achievement ng isang student, and they tend to do an outburst or parang malulus yung focus nila kasi nga maraming step na gagawin. So yung nabasa kong article, it says there it is better to do a whole task or the simultaneous processing para mas madaling ma-achieve ng student yung kanilang feeling of achievement. We can also use the backward chaining. Student completes the last step only. So yun na nga, gagawin na nila yung last step in order for them to have that sense of achievement within them. And the sight-word approach for reading, as it teaches students process information as a whole rather than in parts. So dito sa sight-word is yung teachers mag-give sila ng words, yung mga keywords na yun, and yung students is hanapin nila yun. And then, with that, makakompose nila yung kanilang main idea with that keywords na pinapahanap ng mga teacher. So, in that way, hindi sila malulose yung focus instead of ipapabasa mo sa kanila yung whole textbook. So, in that way, parang ipapahanap lang sa kanila yung mga keywords or key terms para mas madali lang sa kanila na makabuo ng main idea ng isang, let's say for example, a story or that. And then, isang evidence-based alternatives would be the FBA, or the functional behavior analysis. It is to identify if a behavior is a sensory escape and provide a quiet zone instead of a traditional discipline. So dito, it is very crucial for a student with a Fragile X syndrome. So, yung sensory escape is ito yung mga behavior nila na ginagawa nila pag sila ay na-overstimulate. Let's say for example, sila ay sumisigaw, sila ay tumatakbo. So parang you as a teacher, you have to study those kind of behavior or cues para meron kang signal or cues na need na nila ng time in a zone or in a place na hindi sila masyadong ma-overstimulate. So parang it is very important, very crucial to analyze the behavior of your students with this kind of syndrome. So that is for Fragile X syndrome. So now that we're done with the Prader-Willi syndrome and some of the teaching strategies that we can use, and also the alternatives that we can use, let us now move on to the Prader-Willi syndrome. So one teaching strategies is the food security and structured teaching. So one example is the no hope, no doubt. So meaning is it is not simply lacking um the food in a drawer or in a closet. So, in this scenario or in this teaching strategy, yung no hope is meaning wala talagang makikita na simple hint of food inside the classroom. It may be a food crumb or a food in a trash can. Dapat wala talaga silang makita. So, yung trash can is in maybe under the teacher's table or inside a room na hindi nila makikita or out of sight, out of mind. So, in this way, hindi nati-trigger yung kanilang hyperphagia or yung kanilang uncontrollable appetite. Kasi nga, um, when it comes to PWS students, makikita lang sila ng mga little crumbs on all of that. Mati-trigger talaga yung ganitong behavior nila and they tend to have an outburst when that time comes. And then the no doubt is um, the no doubt is part of the structure, right? So, magtago ka ng food para hindi nila makita and then you will say to them they have time to eat their food. And if you say that they have time to eat their food, you have to be firm in that decision. Like, hindi mo sila sabihan na, okay, next time na lang magkain, magtapusin muna natin to kasi that will create a mistrust towards you and your students. So, dapat, pag set ka ng time kung when sila pwede magkain, dapat yung time talaga nun magkain sila para hindi sila maka-create ng doubt towards you. Para hindi din maka-create ng isa namang, like for example, gap na magsisilbing daanan ng pag mag-outburst yung mga students. So, dapat, if mag-set ka ng time, yun talaga yung time na mag-recess sila or magkain na sila ng kanilang food. Now, another alternative is the pretend play intervention. Now, this one is also useful for students with Fragile X syndrome kasi this one plays a vital role or a crucial role in developing the social cognition as well as the emotional regulation of the students with this kind of syndrome. So, what this is that you or us as a teacher we take the role of a character that is not alienated to them. For example, it's a mother or a father. Now, in this kind of role play, we include emotions or social cues that are new to them or that are hard for them to learn. So, by using characters that are already or that you already know, parang mas naintindihan nila yung anong meaning ng mga social cues or yung mga emotional or mga emotion na ito. So this strategy or alternative strategy will help develop the social cognition as well as emotional regulation. How can we develop emotional regulation? Just like for example, how will they manage themselves if they have this outburst or if they want to cry or if they are angry. So the role of a teacher as a we take the role of a mother kasi nga sa role play is parang ipa ipang-introduce natin sa kanila kung paano natin regulate ng tama ang ating mga emotions. And with that, doon na made-develop yung kanilang social cognition and emotional regulation. Yes, that would be all. Thank you everybody for listening and have a good day. That would be all. Thank you everybody for listening and have a good day.